Holy sugar shoots, y'all. Diddy is done. Say it with me now. Diddy is done. Woo!
Mr. Combs detailing how he planned to leverage his relationship with Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the impact of his public image. Now, TD, you had just got out the news. People had moved on. And now you right back in it. He then pulled you right back in. So you were supposed to be there to soften his image and help him through his crisis. Is that what you were supposed to be there for, TD? TD. You just got out the news. Oh well, let's continue.
Dude, Cuban Gooding Jr.? T.D. Jakes? I guess that's why he was walking around talking about swallowed up. You got swallowed up. What?
During these parties, defendant Grange knew or should have known that Mr. Combs was drugging the attendees through laced bottles of the Leon liquor. These parties were sponsored by defendants MR, LR, and UMG. As evidence above, these parties had SEX workers and underage girls present. It is no secret that Mr. Combs had specific bottles of alcohol designated for females and other bottles designated for his staff, his artists, and himself. This fact was detailed by former artists and bodyguards of Mr. Combs. As a sponsor of these events, defendant Grange had a duty and obligation to ensure that SEX workers and underage girls were not pregnant. On YouTube channel, The Art of Dialogue, former bodyguard Gene Deal exposed Mr. Combs' pill mixing method used to spike cranberry juice and orange juice. Shout out to Art of Dialogue. According to Mr. Deal, Mr. Combs would place ecstasy and other date R-word drugs and juices. Mr. Combs spiking bottles of Moet champagne in the VIP section of nightclubs. Mr. Combs would have a set of Moet champagne bottles for his artists and a set for the women. The writer has spoken with several former employees of Mr. Combs who witnessed defendant Quorum instruct her staff to lace champagne, de Leon, and Ciroc liquor bottles with ecstasy and other illicit drugs. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Haberteman visiting Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida, Los Angeles, and California. According to Mr. Jones, Haberteman visited Mr. Combs at his homes. It would be in the evening, and she and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours. So Puffy is knocking them all down. Everybody is disappearing for hours into Diddy's bedroom. How you going? Y'all, we got like 4,500 in the chat. Definitely. That is sick when you juxtapose him telling this grown man what he will allow him to do and have for 20 million if he goes along with all of his, sexual desires and proclivities. He told that to a very young Justin Bieber. Y'all remember that video, right? He was telling them this house is going to be yours. You want this, I think it was like maybe a Lambo. You want this Lambo, it's going to be yours. Mr. Combs would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones the world to threatening Mr. Jones with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. I thought he was about to say Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones out, but he said his face. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face and informed Mr. Jones that he is willing to unalive his mother, Janice Combs, if he must, in order to get what he wants. He is willing to unalive Janice Combs so he wouldn't think twice about harming Mr. Jones. So you gonna take out your mama? On or about July 2nd, 2023, Mr. Combs had a listening party at his home. Present at the party were R&B artist number 9, Jay Combs, SEX workers, and some underage girls. So let's see who the R&B artist is. Remember, when you guess, do your guess in the form of a question. So He is a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after assaulting a Bosnian billionaire. Okay. So present at this party was... Let's see who gets it. Mr. Combs' bedroom. Mr. Jones was forced to watch as Mr. Combs displayed his pow-pows and bragged about getting away with shooting people. Mr. Combs shared that he was responsible for the pow-pow in the nightclub in New York with rapper Shine. I can just imagine Diddy being, we'll just say, under the influence and just talking. I could definitely imagine this. He shared that artist and Mr. Combs' girlfriend at the time, Jennifer Lopez, aka J-Lo, carried the pow-pow into the club for him and passed him the pow-pow after he got into an...
Y'all hear that? J-Lo ass was not innocent at all.
J-Lo had us thinking that she was innocent. J-Lo, you got some explaining to do. J-Lo, you was part of the reason Shine got locked up. Yo, work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. The Pow Pow and Chalice recording studios confirmed Mr. Combs' statements. These statements reinforced that Mr. Jones' fear of Mr. Combs and strengthened Mr. Combs' dominion and control over Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones was terrified of Mr. Combs. He felt like he could not tell him no. Mr. Combs consistently made it clear he has immense power in the music industry and with law enforcement. Mr. Combs made it clear that his head of security, Fahim Muhammad, had the power to make people and problems disappear. This man is definitely going to need somebody.
Oh, Lord. Did he fucking old white men? Did they say he is doing old white men? Listen, he got old white billionaires, millionaires. He got real tricks out here. Oh, my God. This is deep.
Solicitor have SEX with the individuals in the previous paragraph. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting and sleeping with these women. The following is the phone number of another SEX workers that Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicit and perform acts with at his home in Miami, Florida. Mr. Jones had no desire to solicit and or have SEX with the individual in the previous paragraphs. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate, force Mr. Jones into soliciting and sleeping with individuals above. Mr. Combs used many tactics to maintain dominion and control of Mr. Jones. He promised him a Grammy for Producer of the Year. He offered him $250,000 to purchase all the instruments he wanted. He promised him ownership of his $20 million property. So that must have been when he was high. He must have been high. Because you remember when he was walking around with the
most
very
definitely
young,
had to be high.
That
Do
little,
you hear the shit
like
he
a little
offering?
Caucasian kid who can sing. Usher's protege. The guy who sang Love.
He's referring to Justin Bieber.
I think it was like Baby, Baby, Baby and Love. What is that little dude's name? Beauty. The event began at 7 p.m. Mr. Combs requested female SEX workers and required Mr. Jones to solicit them. An hour later, several SEX workers appeared. In addition to SEX workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd that were under the age of 16. 15 is what, 9th grade? You turn in like 16 when you hit 9th. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink laced de Leon liquor. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs laced the liquor with ecstasy. Mr. Combs did not check the identification of any of these underage girls. The presence of these underage women made Mr. Jones very uncomfortable. He attempted to leave and Mr. Combs forced him to stay. Mr. Combs went so far as to take Mr. Jones' car keys to prevent him from leaving. After being forced to drink laced de Leon shots, Mr. Jones began feeling lightheaded and recalls passing out and waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning with no clothes on, with the SEX worker sleeping next to him. Screenshots of the video from that night are embedded. So that's what I can. A red light special. So this is Mr. Combs and Cuba Gooding Jr. moments before Mr. Jones was assaulted. As evidenced by video, of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and assaulting Mr. Jones' legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks. I don't know why I think that's funny. And his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The following screenshot of the encounter. The following is a screenshot of the encounter with Cuba Gooding. So that one I'll show you. That one I'll show you. Oh, and I never remembered that. I never remembered to do that. Okay. Throughout this time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones was under an implied work-for-hire agreement. He was not compensated for his time living with Mr. Combs or for the songs he produced. As evidence, he was listed as a producer for the following songs on the Love albums: Deliver Me, Stay Part 1, Reaching, What's Love, Stay a While, Moments, Need Somebody, Homecoming, and Tough Love. Mr. Combs and defendants, LR, MR, UMG, all benefited from Mr. Jones' work product. They failed to compensate Mr. Jones for his work. As a result, Mr. Combs, they were all unjustly enriched at the expense of Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones attempted to work with Mr. Combs to secure his publishing and royalty rights for the work he completed on the Love album. Mr. Combs only offered Mr. Jones $29,000 for 13 months, thousands of hours of work, 9 songs that made it to the Love album. Ironically, Mr. Jones was willing to take $50,000 with his publishing and royalties. Mr. Combs' self-serving greed would not allow him to pay Mr. Jones an additional $21,000. But remember, he had just offered. Mr. Combs' deceptive business practices became so bad that Mr. Jones was left with no choice other than to make a public plea on social media for Mr. Combs to pay him for his work. After publicly requesting that Mr. Jones do the right thing and pay him fairly, Mr. Jones received an onslaught of threatening messages from Stevie J and Love Records A&R DeForest Taylor. The text message say, "You playing?" He responds, "I'm in studio." "LO, you a 100% liar and weirdo. Good luck. Number's still the same. Run into Ninja. Come talk to me in public on a public podcast and forum." Mr. Combs used his power and influence to threaten and intimidate Mr. Jones. According to Mr. Jones, Mr. Combs is very forceful and demanding. Take that, take that. Mr. Combs does not take no for an answer and would often threaten to inflict bodily harm on Mr. Jones if he did not comply with his demands. As detailed above, Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face, amongst other things.
Millz, bring your ass here, boy. You had Diddy sugar shooting you? I won't believe. Well, what they supposed to say? Allegedly. Allegedly? No, it ain't no goddamn alleged. We got the court documents, baby. What? Say what? He had Chris Brown? What? No.
Really toe up and living his best life. That's what they be saying. That's what the streets said. I digress. Rapper, and there's another rapper, but the name is redacted, on Mr. Combs' yacht consorting with underage girls and ladies and gentlemen of the night. R&B singer Redacted. Now, are we thinking this might have been Trey Songz? Allegedly. In Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home consorting with underage and ladies and gentlemen of the night. At this point, it could be anybody. Diddy's connected to everybody. And it's starting to feel like Epstein Island. Oh, okay. Oh, we're not even doing the footnotes. Thank you so much. So we do have footnotes at the bottom. This writer spoke with several employees of the yacht rented by Mr. Combs in the U.S. Virgin Islands, who personally witnessed defendant Quorum instruct her staff, Brendan Paul, Frankie Santella, and Muiban spike bottles of champagne with ecstasy. Oh, Lord, y'all. This is too much. It's too of his public image of Cassie Ventur's lawsuit. Young Miami's cousin and or assistant SEXing Mr. Jones, which is the guy who filed the lawsuit. Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. sexually harassing, insulting Mr. Jones. Now, Cuba That's one I'm not surprised about. 3, he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated. Oh my God. How you gonna redact it and in the same breath let us know that it's Meek Millz? So let's just go in. Rapper 3 redacted on Mr. Combs' yacht, consorting with underage and ladies and gentlemen of the night, but it says he is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. So now we gotta put Meek in it, y'all. Now,
oh man, not Meek Millz. Damn, Meek, now your hood card revoked.
Okay.
Shit.
Now, number 4, the singer in Mr. Combs' Los Angeles home, consorting with, underage and ladies and gentlemen of the night. At this point, we're basically playing Jeopardy. So y'all answer it. Make sure that you put your answer in the form of a question. Here's your clue. He is a Grammy Award-winning singer who had trouble with law enforcement after assaulting a Bajan billionaire. Remember to put your answer in the form of a question. So you need to say, who is? Right, C. Patterson got it. Who is Chris Brown? This is some shit. C. Patterson got it. Oh my God. I was not expecting this. Okay. Chalice Recording Studios, Pow Pow. On or about September 12, 2022, Mr. Combs held a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studio. Present at this camp were Mr. Combs, his son Justin Combs, and Justin's friend named G. Mr. G is a 30-year-old tall African-American male. In addition to these individuals, other musicians were present at the camp. This writer has spoken to several musicians who attended the camp. One evening during this camp, Mr. Combs, J. Combs, and G were in a heated conversation. Sorry, hold on one second. My mom hit me up. Hopefully she's not watching this. Y'all, we got 2,300 in the chat, but we only got 500 likes. Definitely hit that like button. Lucian Charles Grange, former CEO of Motown Records, Ethiopia Haberton, chief of staff, defendant Chalice Recording, Popular Recording Studio. Okay. Defendant Motown Records, Motown Universal Music Group, defendant Love Records, defendant Combs Enterprises. Says Rodney Lil Rod Jones is from the Windy City, Chi-Town. He was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Mr. Jones is the second oldest son and fourth child of 9 siblings. Mr. Jones comes from a long line of gospel music influencers. Mr. Jones started playing instruments at the age of 5. He began playing drums in church, and at the age of 13, he picked up playing the guitar. From 13 to present day, Mr. Jones has taught himself to play over 13 instruments. Mr. Jones is considered a musical prodigy. His talents have led him to produce and create a commercial marketplace for music that has been recorded by some of the most prestigious and highly acclaimed artists in the music industry. Throughout the duration of his career, Mr. Jones has worked the South Side of Chicago music scene, playing with the following legendary greats: Georgia Mass Choir, Donald Lawrence, the Clark Sisters, my favorite is My Living in Vain, and the Smokey Norfolk. On or about August 2022, Mr. Jones received a call from Mr. Combs requesting that he produce several songs on a rhythm and blues album titled The Love Album Off the Grid. Mr. Jones agreed, and his life has been detrimentally impacted ever since. Everybody don't want to do all that stuff with you, Diddy. So let's get right to the court document. Okay. It says, trigger warning. This document contains highly graphic information of a SEX nature, including assault. Additionally, there are graphic images of the aftermath. Okay. It says, trigger warning. This document contains highly graphic information of a SEX nature, including assault. Additionally, there are graphic images of the aftermath of a pow pow, redacted images of SEX, and redacted images of minors, SEX workers, and ladies of the night, or maybe some gentlemen of the night. Details of trafficking and the illegal distribution of pow pows and drugs. This boy put it all in the lawsuit. Matt B says nobody believes Diddy. His complainant, defendant Sean Combs, defendant Justin Dior Combs, defendant Lucian Charles Grange, and defendant Ethiopia Haberterman, defendant Christina Corman, defendants Chalice Recording Studios, defendant Love Records, defendant Motown Records, defendant Universal Music Group, defendant Combs Global, everybody getting sued. Take that. Okay. Parties. Rodney Jones is an American artist and music producer. Mr. Jones resides in the states of New York and California. Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive producer, popularly known by his stage names Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, P on me Diddy, Diddy, Diddy Do Me, Do Diddy, Brother Love, or Love Mr. Combs. Let me get serious. I'm sorry. Let me get serious. Nobody was saying swallowed up anymore. Okay. Where are we at? Now, when I see Fahim, it makes me think about how Diddy made them wear white fingernails and he liked dark chocolate men. Y'all remember what they said? He likes them dark and chocolate. And that's what the kind of gentleman of the night he would make Cassie get. Well, look at his head as security. Mr. Combs instructs his staff to always contact Mr. Muhammad if they are ever pulled over by the police in Miami or California. Upon information and belief, Mr. Muhammad spoke with the LAPD after G was pow-powed. He just put the LAPD in this. It said the LAPD was in CRS and witnessed all of the bodily fluids in the restroom, and they went with the bogus claim that the pow-pow of G occurred outside the club. This was all thanks to Mr. Muhammad's connections within law enforcement. Not Jenny with the Glock. I'm honestly, this is a whistleblower. Okay. Defendant Grange sponsored and attended several love out. Oh wait, is Grange the billionaire? I'm sorry, it's been a lot going on. Let's see. Okay, so this is Lucian Grange, y'all. It said he's a British record executive and music businessman. He's the chief executive officer, CEO of Universal. So he would go in Diddy's bedroom and disappear? The LAPD spent hours in CRS after the pow-pow of G, yet there were no arrests. Mr. Jones witnessed the LAPD in the restroom pictured above, yet no arrests were made. The morning after the pow-pow, Mr. Jones and several others arrived at CRS, and G's blood was still on the floor of the restroom. Mr. Combs hired a cleaning crew to clean it up. Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Grange visiting Mr. Combs' home in Florida and Los Angeles. It said, now this is the number 15. TikTok is one of the most important short video platforms in the world. It has a significant impact on the spread of global music. Today, it is believed that the artists are paying more and more attention to producing music suitable for dissemination on TikTok. Due to failed contractual renewal negotiations between Universal and TikTok.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Tay with the T, and I came to spill this tea, honey. Let's get into it. Oh, Puff Daddy and his son Justin, they're going down, digger down. Let me tell you what's going on around town right now, okay? What's going on is a big court case, okay? One of Puffy former associates or someone that was doing business with him, I will definitely let you hear the name, or if you did not hear the name in the clips that I displayed, it will be down in the description, baby. But anyway, it's not like no other case that has come apart and took place. Let me say it that way. This comes with pictures, text messages, videos, audios, you name it, they got it. Okay, now the sad part for me is that when Cassie came out with her story, people laughed. It's not so funny no more at this point. The names that is on the list of people that has association with this man is crazy. Okay, let's get into the list of some of the names. Okay, let's talk about it, because Tay got her list. Okay, Tay got her notes. All right, listen. Cuban Gooding Jr., that blew my mind. J-Lo, we thought she was innocent. Okay, Jenny from the block was the one that was toting that Glock when it came to that situation that happened in that club. Okay, that played a part with Sean that night, y'all. Yeah, Jenny was the one who had the gun. Right now, there's no allegedly to this story because the court documents tell it all, baby. This man had connection to the LAPD. Biggie. Do you see some similarities connecting here? Okay, let's continue with this list, baby. Stevie J, Chris Brown, TD Jakes, Justin Bieber, Meek, Millz. He had people playing up in his sugar shoot. Nah, Brody. Hood card revoked. Get him out of here. Next, let's talk about it. Because Puffy was playing slut trap to a whole bunch of millionaire white men, okay? This is what he was doing. This is what he was doing. He was conducting all type of nasty sex parties when people knew when Puffy was in town. Okay, and a party was going down. The sex workers would know he was gonna be there before he got there. Let's tell how delulu and how crazy and sick this man is. Okay, he would spike people drinks. Like, you know how they have Moet in the club, and you know Puffy got Ciroc. He would have these bottles spiked for the people, the sex workers, especially the underage girls. They had a special potion for the underage girls to where it would make sure that they would not accidentally get pregnant from any of the acts that was taking place. Let's talk about it. This man was so sick to the point that the same person that came out and basically divulged all this information for us to know, for me to know, for me to be able to tell you, you know, this man Puffy threatened somebody else by threatening to unalive his own mother. Anytime you threaten somebody and use your own mother as a threat, that's some sick shit. Okay, now let's talk about the fact is that Wendy Williams was the first person years ago to let us know the flow that Puffy was on. All right, it's not a coincidence because then after that, Jaguar Wright tried to come out and warn us about Puffy again. And people tried to say that this lady was crazy. But let's put two and two together. There's no maybe. All right, at the end of the day, is this the reason that Kim Porter is not here today? Is it that she knew too much, so they had to get rid of her? Things don't just happen by coincidence. And the legs and the arms that this man could pull is crazy. And people go off a power. This man ain't just power trip. He fully did a trip. He done tripped over a trip at this point. Anybody that's known to be around Puffy associate themselves with Puffy, Diddy, Mr. Love, whatever you choose to call him at this point. Yeah, he called himself Mr. Love because he been spreading a lot of his pieces of love around, which that's not love, that's torment. When you slipping ecstasy in people drinks and they waking up butt ass naked, oh no, you can't party with me. But I'm the fact that he's grooming his son to be just like him, That's the crazy part. It's bad that we had to deal with one of him for years, but it's been multiple of him for many years. Is this the same things that Quincy Jones and them was doing to Michael Jackson and Prince? Like, let's really get into it. Is this the reason that now Wendy Williams is losing her mind so she can no longer talk about shit? Because that's another situation that I'm going to do a video on, because that's sad. The way they got Wendy going out is real sad and real bad. It wasn't the fact is that she was only telling people business. She was putting us on to the things that we would have never knew or had a clue. Okay? When she was throwing the factors of, oh, this person is the G word, you know, because I'm not trying to get my demonetized. People thought that it was just an accusation or a defamation. No, this man was out here clapping cheeks, like men cheeks, kid cheeks, women cheeks, cheeks of cheeks, like all type of cheeks, all white man cheeks. Like, you spending whole nights in your room with all white men? Nah, I ain't got nothing towards the Caucasians, okay? Don't take that as a shot. But I am shocked and appalled because, see, we knew, but we really had no idea. And then the fact is that he tried to act like he was close or getting close to TD Jakes, and TD Jakes is just as much as of a baking cake. They two of the same. The only thing, this man is running around talking about swallowed up. He got swallowed up. Don't let them swallow you. He was doing a lot of swallowing up his damn self. That's why that was his slogan. The swallowing was what? Whoa. If I did not see the documents, see, shout out to my boy, another YouTuber on this platform. Go and check his channel out, because he lets the details be the details, and he lets the deeds be the deeds. And I would call this a little bit more than tea. This might be some Hennessy at this point. For real. His platform is called Make It Make Sense. Yes, definitely click on that button and subscribe to that channel as well as mine. Don't forget about mine, friend. The subscribe button is right there, friend. So don't forget about mine. Subscribe to mine, then go subscribe to him, because he is too legit to quit. So what I did was I put some inserts in here, some to display what it is that Tay is talking about, baby. I let him read the court documents because I ain't really had time to do all of that. So, yeah, shout outs to him for getting deep into the deeds, honey. Okay? Tay got nothing but love for you. His channel will also be down in the description because I mentioned, and he definitely deserves credit for reading these documents and bringing us this information, baby. Because Puffy and Justin is done. Done. And a couple of others is going to trail behind them, because it's going to be like the domino effect, you know? Like when one fall, they all just so happen to tumble over. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of tumbling overs going on throughout the next couple of weeks. And then Young Miami got the nerve to have connection. Like, I don't give a damn. See, money is the root to all evil. Money is the root to all evil. People will sell their soul for a hoe, baby. Okay? And that's definitely what this gotta be. But it's kind of funny because she connected him to the cousin, baby. Like, it was a lot. It's a lot going on. And as it comes out, Tay will definitely be researching, and I definitely will spin the block and update y'all. Like, listen, y'all, let me tell you what happened. This is crazy. They thought Albie Shore was crazy. They thought all these people was crazy. No, they was not crazy. They was getting them claps cheeked on ecstasy. So yeah, they remembered a little bit, even if not all of it. And now it's being told, and souls have been sold. God damn. Well, anyway, this has been your girl Tay with the T. Get to know me, baby. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep your girl alive. The subscription button is right there. Hit the button, friend. Hit the button, friend. Please. And your girl is out. La 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 lattes were a.